Hello everybody, this is Ami from Ami Designs, and today I thought I would walk you through something that I love to do with my PET stickers and my PET tape outside of making aesthetic journals, and that is I love to make cards with them, as you can see. So here you can see I use them not only for the focal point but also the background and background stickers. Here's another example. This one I used tape from the washi tape shop and just kind of cut it out and used it to decorate. And then the letters themselves, these are from different stamp sets. Again, washi tape shop and a stamped sentiment. Here are some old sort of stickers. I don't know, they're not PET and they're not washi, but they're kind of thin. You can kind of still see through them. But I've had these in my stash forever. And so it's always nice to find a use for them. Here, again, washi tape shop. So I used some background paper and then used the beautiful peony from the washi tape shop to decorate. Again, this sort of PET stickers I had in my stash forever, and so I decided that I was going to try to use them in cards. Here you might have seen this from an unboxing. This is the little Prince washi tape, and then stamped and embossed sentiment there. Another recent haul. These are some little cute kitty ones, and then there's some washi tape that matched that I put in there. And then this is a piece of ephemera, but in the background, all of these are PET stickers that I've had forever. And then finally, again, these backgrounds are from a recent haul, and then a pet tape from a recent haul that I had too. So let me show you kind of how I put these together. You might have noticed this border die in a lot of my cards. I absolutely love it. This is from Pretty Pink Posh, and I think it's called Storybook 2, but it's a great size for small images as well as kind of a sentiment, and then I like to layer something over the top. To cut out my frame, I'm going to use some pearlized cardstock, some pearl cardstock, and it's just cardstock with a little bit of a sheen to it, as you can see. After running it through my die cutting machine, you can see I've got the frame and the nice pieces. These pieces aren't waste. I'm going to save them. I'll use them in a different card later. So that die it cuts into cardstock, but it doesn't cut the shape out around it. So I'm going to trim this just a little bit so I've got a nice border. I want to make sure that it's somewhat even. I mean, it's not going to be perfectly even around all the edges, but trim it so it's somewhat even. Trim off this one a little bit to match. And now we've got a somewhat even border, but if it's not perfectly even, that is perfectly fine. My philosophy is, hey, this is handmade. So now I decide, do I want to put it this way or do I want to put it this way? So this is landscape, this is portrait. Oh, or I could do it this way. This is an interesting look too. Little threads from my die cutter. So that's an interesting position. All right, let's pick out, maybe this is the way it's gonna look. Let's pick out what sort of PET stickers I'm gonna use. And I've got this old set. You might have recognized the style. But this one I've had for, gosh, years upon years. It's been in my stash forever. So I think I'm gonna use this one. And if I have it going this way, yeah, I'm gonna use this one with the cute cats and the cute little girl. So another thing about the PET stickers is they have a pretty, even though it's transparent, it's a pretty noticeable border. So I like to fussy cut these closer to the lines just to minimize that border a little bit. This is just a me thing. You don't have to do that. It's extra work, but it's something I like to do. I just think that it blends into the background better that way. I'm thinking I want to use this. This is another kind of pearlescent cardstock, but it's also got like a linen texture to it. So I think I want to use this. Yep. Now, do I want to just keep the background white, or do I ever want to have something going on back there? I think I want to have something going on back there. The background is a little too boring without it, so I'll be right back. The downside to these stickers is that they are rather see-through. So you can see here, like if I put something too bold and dark behind it, you're gonna see it through the stickers, especially the white part of the stickers themselves. And there's quite a lot of little white areas on these images. So the best thing to do is to use kind of a softer background that picks up and plays with the colors. So here you can see, even if there's kind of a little bit of, you can kind of see through it, it kind of melds into the image, and it's consistent enough that it's not stark like this gray is. So I think I'm gonna go with this background here and cut the shapes out of that same die that I had before. Okay, so I have my pieces here. I'm just gonna kind of fit them in. Yep, I'm liking that. Okay, so next, pick the images that I want, which are these 3 cats and the girl, and cut them out. And you don't want to see that fussy cutting. All right, so now that I have my images cut out, I need to kind of shop, kind of test out where do I want them. I think I want to put a sentiment here. So make sure that there's enough space for something there. Yeah, I'm liking how that looks. So let's get these stickers down on this paper. To do that, I'm going to take the frame off because the stickers are actually going to be behind the frame. To get the backing off the PET stickers, just kind of roll your thumb, and you can, on a corner or some area that feels like it'd be easy to peel up, just roll it. Then I like to get some tweezers and separate them that way. And the tweezers really help with the placement as well, because my fingers are much bigger and I can see where I'm putting things. I peel carefully because these are easy to tear. So if you peel too fast, you run the risk of tearing things apart. And then I'll just cut off the excess. So things that are overhanging here. You don't necessarily need to do this because, like I said, the frame will cover up this, but I just like things to piece together easily. And then sometimes with the florals, I'll reuse bits, like the floral pieces elsewhere. I like to make as much use and have as least waste as possible when it comes to these, because, you know, it's pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna adhere everything down to this card front. Here's my card base. I like to do a top folding card because, I mean, it's just a fun way to open, and you can't buy top folding cards in stores. They only fold out the normal way. So it's just another fun way of making these a little bit more interesting. And I'm gonna glue down my top panel to my card base. And I like using this sort of clear craft glue. It is a solvent, so I always do this with an open window, which is why you can probably hear the background noises of my neighborhood, but I also like listening to the birds, so that's also why I leave that open. So I'm gonna glue this down. And I find that this adhesive actually adds a little bit more strength to my cards. When it's dry, it kind of, and I'm gonna mush my glue around, it kind of stiffens up and makes it that much more durable, I feel. Now I'm going to attach my frame. I'm gonna kind of center this in the middle of the card. There's different ways that you can place it to make it more interesting. Like sometimes I'll place things over to the side, not quite centered, and have more white space on one side or the other. But this time around, I think I just wanted it to be your standard in the center of the card. And this one I kind of eyeball. What's great about glue is you've got wiggle room time. So kind of place it down, look at it, kind of line things up to where I'm happy with them. And you know, I'm not too fussed if it's not perfectly aligned because handmade card. All right, now that I've got that down, I'm gonna put it in my inside pieces. And something that I'm terrible about is I like to over glue things. Like I put way too much glue than is needed. And so I'm trying to do less of that so I have less seepage out on when I'm pressing stuff down. So that's just less mess. Right. And then I'm gonna put this over the top really quick too, as it dries, just to help it dry flat. So there are multiple ways to do greetings. You can stamp a greeting like I've done here. You can use a die cut and cut out a greeting like I did here. Or today I thought that I would use, I've got all of these sort of word strips, I guess they are, that I use for my journaling. But I think that some of them would work well for here. So I could do something as easy as like hello, right? That's an easy one right there. I could also do like celebrate, happy birthday to you would fit there. But I was looking at this and I liked the sentiment, this find your tribe. The color matches, oh, I don't need the ecstatic. The color matches the yellow on her skirt, and I love the idea that these cats are her tribe. So I'm just gonna stick it right here. I'm always bad at lining things up so that they're straight, but I'm feeling like that's straight-ish, right? That's straight-ish. So I'm gonna stick it there. And it's gonna say find your tribe. And I love that. So there is my card using just some old PET stickers that I had. some die cuts, and you don't even need the die cut. You can actually kind of cut out a frame yourself and stick the stickers on, just using a trimmer or like your own scissors. Do what makes you happy. Let me know if you want to see more in this series. I'm always making cards, so I'm always happy to film more and show you how I do things. Maybe next time I could use like some PET tape or a different theme. Let me know if you'd like to see anything else. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.